When I sit with men in their 50s, 60s, or beyond, one of the most common concerns that surfaces, sometimes spoken directly, sometimes hinted at, is a quiet fear about losing manhood. By that word, they mean not just sexual performance, but energy, vitality, confidence, and the ability to feel like themselves. And they are not alone. Research from the Massachusetts Male Aging study shows that by the time men reach age 50, nearly 1 in 2 will experience some degree of erectile dysfunction. That is not a sign of weakness or failure. It is a reflection of how the body changes with age. Hormones shift, blood vessels stiffen, and the prostate becomes more sensitive. These are natural processes, but they do not mean vitality is lost for good. The challenge is that men often receive mixed messages. Some are told that their only option is a pill. Others are flooded by advertisements for exotic supplements promising overnight transformation. And many are left feeling that if they are struggling, it is somehow their fault. That is not true. The truth is that science has given us clear actionable insights into how food, lifestyle, and mindset can support not only sexual health but overall vitality. Yet, these insights rarely reach men in a clear, trustworthy way. That is what we are going to change today. You may be surprised to learn that something as simple as fruit. Yes, the same fruit you can pick up at your local grocery store can play a powerful role in protecting testosterone levels, supporting blood flow, and safeguarding prostate health. We are going to focus today on 3 specific fruits that research shows can help reignite your manhood naturally after age 50. These are not exotic, inaccessible superfoods. They are simple, evidence-backed choices that most men overlook. Yet, they work in ways that align directly with the biology of sexual health. Think of it like this. Your body is a finely tuned engine. Over time, wear and tear can affect the fuel lines, the spark plugs, the lubrication. If you want the engine to run smoothly, you do not pour in mystery liquids. You supply clean fuel, maintain it consistently, and protect it from rust. The same is true with your body. Certain fruits provide antioxidants that reduce inflammation in your blood vessels, compounds that enhance nitric oxide production for better circulation, and nutrients that stabilize hormones. This is not a fad. This is physiology. So here is what we will do together today. First, I will preview the 6 key insights we will explore like chapters of a consultation so you know exactly where we are going. Then we will walk through step by step how each of these fruits works, what the research says, and how to practically include them in your daily life. Along the way, I will share the same analogies, clarifications, and gentle myth-busting I use in clinic conversations every day. My goal is not to overwhelm you with data, but to give you clarity because you deserve clarity, not fear. By the end of this conversation, you will understand why these 3 fruits matter, how they fit into the larger picture of your hormonal and vascular health, and what small steps you can take starting today. Most importantly, you will leave knowing that what you are experiencing is common, manageable, and very often reversible with the right strategies. When men first come to me with concerns about erections, energy, or stamina, they often assume the issue must be testosterone. And while testosterone is important, here is what the research shows. In many cases, the bigger culprit is circulation. Erections are at their core a vascular event. Blood has to flow into the penis, stay there under pressure, and exit at the right time. If the blood vessels are stiff, inflamed, or clogged, the entire process becomes weaker or unreliable. The Massachusetts Male Aging Study, which has followed thousands of men over decades, found that vascular health is one of the strongest predictors of erectile function. In fact, erectile dysfunction can sometimes be an early warning sign of cardiovascular disease. Think of the arteries in your body like garden hoses. When they are clean and flexible, water flows easily. But if they are stiff or narrowed, the pressure drops and the stream weakens. That is what happens in the penile arteries, which are even smaller than the coronary arteries in your heart. A problem that starts there often signals a problem in the larger system. So how do fruits fit in? Certain fruits, especially those rich in nitrates, flavonoids, and anthocyanins, support endothelial health. The endothelium is the thin lining of your blood vessels. When it is healthy, it produces nitric oxide, a gas that relaxes blood vessels and improves blood flow. When it is damaged by smoking, diabetes, or poor diet, nitric oxide production plummets and circulation suffers. For example, studies from Harvard's Tkin School of Public Health have shown that men who consume higher amounts of flavonoid-rich fruits such as blueberries and citrus fruits have a significantly lower risk of erectile dysfunction. Because these compounds help keep blood vessels elastic and responsive, it is as if you are oiling the hinges of a door. Suddenly, it swings open with much less resistance. Imagine your penis as a sponge to become erect. That sponge must fill quickly with blood. If the pipes feeding the sponge are partially blocked or if the valves are not working, it will not fill fully or stay rigid. Fruits that support endothelial health are like natural pipe cleaners, reducing plaque, easing stiffness, and allowing full efficient flow. So, the first pillar of reigniting manhood naturally is this: protect and enhance blood flow. This is not about a magic pill, but about giving your vessels the nutrients they need to stay supple. A simple daily serving of fruits rich in flavonoids such as blueberries, pomegranate, or citrus can be part of that protection plan over time. These choices do not just improve erections, they support heart and brain health 2. And here is a practical tip. Pair these fruits with a source of healthy fat, such as a handful of walnuts or a spoonful of yogurt. Why? Because many of the bioactive compounds in fruit are fat-soluble, meaning they are better absorbed when eaten with fat. That is a small evidence-based habit you can start immediately. One of the most underestimated enemies of male vitality after 50 is not simply low testosterone or poor circulation. It is chronic inflammation. This is not the type of inflammation you feel when you twist your ankle and it swells. This is low-level ongoing inflammation inside the body which quietly damages blood vessels, interferes with hormone signaling and irritates the prostate gland. Here is what the research shows. Studies published in journals such as the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism have linked chronic inflammation with suppressed testosterone levels. Inflammatory molecules known as cytokines can directly disrupt the cells in the testes that produce testosterone over time. This not only reduces hormone levels but also worsens fatigue, muscle loss, and libido decline. The prostate too is especially vulnerable to inflammation. Conditions such as benign prostatic hyperplasia and prostatitis often involve an inflammatory component. Think of the prostate like a walnut-sized sponge at the base of your bladder. When it becomes inflamed, it swells, squeezes the urethra, and disrupts both urination and sexual function. Many men assume this is just normal aging. But lifestyle and diet play a major role in how quickly or severely this happens. This is where fruit becomes more than just a snack. Certain fruits are naturally rich in compounds that act like tiny extinguishers against inflammation. Pomegranate, for example, has been studied for its high concentration of polyphenol, which reduce oxidative stress and inflammatory signaling. A study from the University of California found that men with prostate issues who consumed pomegranate extract showed markers of reduced inflammation and improved prostate-specific antigen stability. Berries such as blueberries and strawberries contain anthocyanins, pigments that give them their deep red and blue colors. These compounds lower levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation often elevated in men with metabolic syndrome and higher cardiovascular risk. Citrus fruits too with their vitamin C and flavonoids help neutralize free radicals before they can cause damage. Think of inflammation as small sparks landing on dry grass. Left alone, they build into a slow, smoldering fire that spreads across the field, weakening everything in its path. Fruits rich in antioxidants and polyphenol act like rain. They dampen the sparks, lower the risk of flare-ups, and keep the field healthier over time. Here is a simple, practical takeaway. Include at least one serving of anti-inflammatory fruit with your main meals. That could be a bowl of mixed berries with breakfast, a citrus side with lunch, or pomegranate seeds sprinkled over dinner. Consistency matters more than quantity. Over weeks and months, these small choices steadily reduce inflammatory pressure, protecting testosterone production and supporting a calmer prostate. And if this conversation is helping clarify things, give it a thumbs up and keep learning. Your engagement helps us keep spreading reliable, shame-free health content. When men think about manhood, testosterone often takes center stage. And that makes sense. Testosterone influences libido, muscle mass, energy levels, and even mood. But here is what I tell patients. In clinic, it is not just about the number on your blood test. It is about balance. Testosterone must be supported while excessive estrogen and stress hormones are kept in check. Here is what the research shows. Testosterone production begins in the brain where the hypothalamus signals the pituitary gland, which then directs the testes to make testosterone. Chronic stress, poor sleep or excess weight can disrupt this chain. Fat tissue, for instance, converts testosterone into estrogen through an enzyme called aromatase. That is one reason why men with more abdominal fat often see lower testosterone and higher estrogen. Now, where do fruits enter this hormonal story? Certain fruits provide key nutrients that support this delicate balance. For example, pomegranates have been studied for their ability to raise testosterone levels in men. In a study published in Clinical Nutrition, daily pomegranate consumption was associated with an increase in salivary testosterone and improvements in mood and vitality. The mechanism may involve antioxidants protecting the Leydig cells in the testes, which are responsible for testosterone production. Citrus fruits contain compounds called flavonoids and linoids, which may help inhibit aromatase, the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. Imagine aromatase as a siphon, draining testosterone away. Citrus compounds help tighten that siphon, keeping more testosterone available for your body to use. Berries, particularly blueberries, are rich in vitamin C and anthocyanins, which not only support vascular health, but also reduce cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol directly suppresses testosterone, like a boss yelling, "Stop," at the factory floor. By reducing stress hormones, these fruits indirectly protect your testosterone levels. Think of your hormones like the instruments in an orchestra. Testosterone is the trumpet, bold and powerful, but it cannot play alone. Estrogen, cortisol, and other hormones must be in tune. Fruits help fine-tune the instruments, quieting the ones that are too loud and amplifying the ones that are too soft, creating harmony instead of chaos. Here is a practical doctor-like tip you can start today. Swap out sugary desserts for fruit-based ones. Instead of a slice of cake after dinner, try a bowl of mixed citrus or a pomegranate salad. This not only gives your body hormone-supporting nutrients, but it also avoids the blood sugar spikes that worsen insulin resistance, a hidden factor that drives testosterone down. And remember, it is not about eating pounds of fruit in one sitting. It is about consistency, portion control, and pairing. 1 to 2 servings of these fruits daily spread across meals is enough to make a difference when sustained over time. Comment below if this resonates with you. Has low testosterone or hormonal imbalance been something you have struggled with? Sharing your story can help other men realize they are not alone and that balance is possible. In conversations about men's health after age 50, the prostate almost always comes up. And for good reason. This small walnut-sized gland sits just below the bladder, wrapping around the urethra like a ring. When it is healthy, you barely notice it. But when it becomes inflamed or enlarged, it can disrupt urination, interrupt sleep with frequent bathroom trips, and even affect intimacy. Here is what the research shows. By the age of 60, more than half of men have some degree of benign prostatic hyperplasia or prostate enlargement. By 70, that number rises to nearly 90%. While enlargement itself is not cancer, the symptoms weak urine stream, urgency, incomplete emptying can take a toll on quality of life. Add to that the emotional weight many men carry worrying silently about prostate cancer and you can see why this gland holds such significance. Now what role can fruit play in protecting prostate health? Quite a significant one. Pomegranate for instance has been studied for its effects on prostate-specific antigen or PSA, which is a marker used to monitor prostate disease. A study published in Clinical Cancer Research found that men who consumed pomegranate juice showed a slower rise in PSA levels after prostate cancer treatment, suggesting that the fruit's polyphenol may have a protective effect. Berries also deserve attention. Here, their anthocyanins and vitamin C help neutralize oxidative stress within prostate tissue. Imagine oxidative stress as tiny sparks landing on the prostate, irritating it day after day. Antioxidants from berries act like a shield, calming that irritation before it grows into chronic damage. Citrus fruits too offer unique protection. Compounds such as hesperidin and naringein not only reduce inflammation but also support detoxification pathways in the liver, which indirectly helps the prostate by lowering systemic inflammation. A healthier systemic environment creates a calmer local environment for the prostate. Think of the prostate like a sponge wrapped around a straw. When inflamed, the sponge swells and squeezes the straw, blocking urine flow. Fruits with anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties help reduce the swelling, easing pressure on the straw so flow returns to normal. Here is a practical strategy. You can begin right away. Aim for Euler approach throughout the week. That means including red fruits like pomegranate, blue or purple fruits like blueberries, and orange fruits like citrus. Each color represents a slightly different mix of protective compounds. And together they provide broader coverage for prostate health. This is not about replacing medical care or screening. Prostate exams and discussion with your doctor remain essential. But diet is a tool you control every day. By integrating these fruits consistently, you create an environment in your body that is less favorable to prostate irritation and more supportive of long-term vitality. As we grow older, one of the most relentless processes working against our health is oxidative stress. You can think of oxidative stress as a form of rusting that happens inside the body. Just as metal left outside in the rain begins to corrode, our cells and tissues can become damaged when there is an imbalance between free radicals, highly reactive molecules, and the antioxidants that neutralize them. Here is what the research shows. Oxidative stress plays a major role in the progression of cardiovascular disease, erectile dysfunction, prostate problems, and even cognitive decline. The penile arteries, for example, are particularly sensitive to oxidative damage. Free radicals attack the endothelium, reducing nitric oxide availability, which is essential for erections. The result is weaker blood flow, less reliable function, and more frustration for men who already feel vulnerable. The prostate too is affected. Studies in the journal Prostate Cancer and Prostatic Diseases have shown that oxidative stress is a contributing factor in both benign enlargement and malignancy. When the balance tips toward excess free radicals, the gland cells are under continuous attack, which leads to chronic inflammation and structural changes. So where do fruits come in? Fruits are among the richest natural sources of antioxidants, and they provide a variety of them. Blueberries, for instance, are loaded with anthocyanins which scavenge free radicals and reduce oxidative stress. Pomegranate offers punic agons, unique polyphenol that have been shown to lower oxidative markers in both animal and human studies. Citrus fruits deliver vitamin C, a potent antioxidant that helps recycle other antioxidants, like vitamin E, creating a protective network in the body. Imagine oxidative stress as sparks landing on a dry wooden deck. Over time, if those sparks are not extinguished, the wood weakens and breaks. Fruits with their antioxidant compounds are like a steady mist of water over the deck, keeping it resilient, dampening the sparks, and extending its life. One practical habit I often recommend is the daily antioxidant dose. This simply means committing to at least one serving of deeply pigmented fruit every day, blueberries, pomegranate, or citrus. You can rotate them, combine them, or pair them with protein. The key is daily repetition. Unlike a pill you take once, antioxidants from fruits need to be supplied regularly to maintain protection. And here is another tip. Eat fruits in their whole form when possible rather than only juices. Whole fruits contain fiber, which slows sugar absorption, supports gut health, and provides additional benefits that juices alone cannot offer. If you do enjoy juice, keep portions small and pair it with protein or fat to reduce blood sugar spikes. By consistently lowering oxidative stress, you are not just protecting your erections or your prostate, you are also guarding your brain, your arteries, and your overall vitality. In this sense, fruits are not only about manhood. They are about healthy aging across every system. Now that we have explored circulation, inflammation, hormone balance, prostate health, and oxidative stress, the question becomes, how do you take this knowledge and actually live it out day to day? Because information without application does not create change. The goal here is not a short-term diet, but a sustainable pattern that supports your manhood and vitality for decades to come. Here is what the research shows. Studies from Harvard, the Mayo Clinic, and the National Institutes of Health consistently find that men who consume at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables daily have lower risks of erectile dysfunction, cardiovascular disease, and prostate problems. But within that broad recommendation, flavonoid-rich and antioxidant-rich fruits stand out as particularly beneficial for male health. So, how do you bring these 3 fruits, pomegranate, blueberries, and citrus, into your routine in a way that feels natural? One strategy is to attach fruit consumption to existing habits. 4. Example, if you drink coffee in the morning, pair it with a small bowl of blueberries instead of a pastry. If you enjoy lunch at work, add an orange or grapefruit as your side rather than chips. For dinner, sprinkle pomegranate seeds over a salad or cooked vegetables. Attaching new habits to old routines increases consistency. Another strategy is variety across the week. You do not need to eat all 3 fruits every single day, but aim to rotate them. For example, blueberries 3 times per week, citrus 4 times per week, pomegranate 2 to 3 times per week. This rotation not only provides a broader spectrum of protective compounds, but also keeps your palate interested, making it easier to sustain long-term. Portion control also matters. Fruit is healthy, but it does contain natural sugars. A serving is roughly 1 cup of berries, 1 medium citrus fruit, or half a pomegranate. More is not necessarily better. The benefits come from consistency, not excess. Practical combinations can also amplify benefits. Pair blueberries with Greek yogurt for a protein-rich, antioxidant-packed snack. Mix citrus slices into a spinach salad. With olive oil for a powerful combination of vitamin C and healthy fats. Combine pomegranate with walnuts for a heart-protective prostate-friendly Mix, and let me address a common concern: fruit and blood sugar. Men with prediabetes or diabetes often fear fruit because of its sweetness. But here is the truth. When eaten in whole form with fiber intact, fruit has a much gentler effect on blood sugar compared to refined desserts or processed snacks. Pairing fruit with protein or fat further smooths that response. The benefits of these fruits far outweigh the risks when eaten in moderation. Finally, think long-term. These fruits are not meant to be a quick fix or a substitute for medical care. They are part of a broader toolkit that includes exercise, sleep, stress management, and routine checkups. But the beauty is that they are accessible, affordable, and enjoyable. They give you a daily reminder that you are actively investing in your body's vitality. So, as a doctor might gently tell you at the end of a consultation, start small, be consistent, and stay patient. Your body rewards what you do consistently, not what you do occasionally. We have covered a lot in this conversation. So, let us step back and see the bigger picture. We began by addressing one of the most common concerns men face after 50, the quiet worry about losing manhood. And we reframed it with science, not fear. Here is what the research shows. Vitality is not lost forever after midlife. The key systems that govern erections, libido and confidence, circulation, hormones, inflammation control, prostate health, and oxidative balance are all profoundly influenced by the choices you make every day. We learned that blood flow is often a bigger issue than testosterone alone, and that fruits rich in flavonoids help keep blood vessels supple and nitric oxide flowing. We saw how chronic inflammation slowly undermines testosterone and irritates the prostate. And how compounds and berries, pomegranate and citrus act like natural extinguishers. We looked at hormone balance and how these fruits protect testosterone while keeping stress and estrogen in check. We explored the prostate and the evidence that targeted fruits can reduce irritation and support long-term health. And we finish by understanding oxidative stress, the body's version of rusting, and how antioxidants in these fruits slow the process of aging from the inside out. Most importantly, we translated the science into practical daily steps. Not a crash diet, not exotic, hard to find superfoods. Just consistent, sustainable choices: a cup of blueberries, half a pomegranate, or a citrus fruit woven into your meals. These small, steady actions accumulate, building a healthier foundation for your body over time. So, if you are listening and wondering, where do I start? Start simple. Add one of these fruits into your day. Replace a sugary snack with something that actually fuels your manhood. Over time, your circulation, your hormones, your prostate, and your confidence will thank you. And let me reassure you once again, what you are experiencing is common. Erectile difficulties, hormonal shifts, or prostate concerns are not a sign of weakness. They are part of the human journey, but they are also manageable. You do not need to be afraid of your body. You simply need good information and the willingness to act on it. So as you leave this conversation, take with you one powerful truth. Your vitality is not behind you. With the right daily choices, you can protect it, nurture it, and in many cases, reignite it. Stay curious, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more grounded, shame-free health content, the kind I share with patients every day in the clinic, because you deserve clarity, not fear. There